Carrigan, you, after what felt like a good night's rest, it feels as if you've just went to sleep for a day. You wake up a little nauseous, a little groggy. Your muscles are a little loose, and they're not. Is it like with the cryopod? Everything's kind of continued to be kept in an actual thing, but everything's just a little groggy. But you are awoken to the smell of cheap ramen noodles and
I'll give her the noodles because they're for her.
And a welcoming Tavin.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, cryo sleep makes you hungry.
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit down for a second.
Figured.
Smell the noodles, but not start eating them yet, since she is nauseous.
I figured you and I should really have a conversation.
At that point, Carrigan, when you look around, all the other cryo beds are still in their sleep mode. So Joshua and Andrea and the other figure are still asleep, yet to be woken.
She's gonna sit on the floor. She's holding the cup. She's not gonna say anything. But her grip tightens on the cup, and she just stares at him in a non-verbal.
I'll also say, you don't have a fork, you have a spork.
She's not eating it yet.
Good stuff. It's very clear that we don't like each other. And I get that you're a marshal and you have a job to do, but that doesn't give you the right to tell me that my job is worth less than the potential than the potential people in danger on any other space station. Because I wanted to leave because we were in danger. We saw someone attack us and then kill himself. And you told me I had to stay. I'm not military. I'm not a marshal. I'm a pilot. I'm not a hero. My life is not worth theirs.
You were paid to do a job, and you were eager to leave before it was done. You did not die. You left that station without a fucking scratch on you. And you have decided that it was a good idea to wake me up, to try and intimidate me alone. Let me tell you something, you absolute little shit. I don't give a shit about you. I have no feelings one way or another about you. It is incredibly clear, however, that you are incredibly irritated by my presence. I didn't know you. You've been on my station, so you've been laying low. But I get the feeling that someone that hostile to the law has got something to hide. Now, I suggest you start waking up our comrades. And I'm going to have a think on this. And I'm going to learn your last name. Do you understand?
Do I look intimidating? I'm not holding a gun.
Why would you wake up me by myself and say, we need to have a conversation, if you were not intending to do some kind of intimidation? What was your goal here? What did you
Mostly
think
trying
would
to stop us
happen?
from. I was mostly trying to stop us from hating each other and potentially killing each other.
Oh, I had no. You know, this whole thing started. I asked you your last name. You refused to give it to me. Didn't push. I did push when you tried to seemingly ditch the rest of your crew because whether you like it or not, that's what they have become. It's what I have become in this mission that I did not want to go on, but I was sent by the Marshals. I have a job to do. You all had a job to do, and you were eager to leave us all in the dust. I had absolutely no problem with you, but if you continue to be a craven piece of shit, I will turn your life upside down. Are we clear?
And I. I'm gonna look up to the ceiling and whisper just loud enough so that she can hear and say, Martha, lockdown procedures, please.
I'm going to stand up. I'm going to put my clothes back on. I'm going to grab my lighter. I'm going to flick it open and close like 15 times super angrily. I'm going to look at Joshua and I'm going to say, do you know the pilot's last name?
No, I never asked, actually. I've known him a couple of years, but I just call him Tav or Tavin or Stick Jockey. We're Space Rat, Emaciated, Spacer, some variation of that.
Do you know how long? So he's been on my station for a few years, yeah?
In and out, not consistently on it. Comes and goes.
I'll make sure to keep a closer eye on that.
Okay.
Andrea, do you know me?
Yes.
Do I know you?
Yes.
Did I know you before now?
This is something we should not talk about in front of him.
No, I'm look, I got
Or the child over there that is listening
coffee.
intently.
I got a coffee. I just pretend I'm not here.
No, you're here for the drama. I don't want it.
No, I'm waking up, just sipping coffee with my pinky up. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Joshua, it's at that
What's that?
moment that you're saying that you hear the very recognizable sound of someone hurling as Jamie has now been woken from his cryosleep, having never done it before, and is now vomited over the cryo bed himself, the floor, and is currently whimpering like a small baby deer.
You know, he should probably have the ramen. Just gonna set it over me.
I will go walk over and take care of Jamie.
Andrea's just gonna put her clothes on and go back to the quarters.
Yep, no problem. Yep, you're able to get back there. As you do get
So
back
much
there,
cleaner. Everything is wiped down. The beds are made.
Yep,
everything is so much cleaner.
it is. It's all lovely. As you get there, Andrea, you do notice that your data link is flashing that you have a message.
Okay. I would check message.
Okay. You have a message from the person that you had reached out to.
Yeah.
And the reply that you have, hold on, I just want to pull up your message just to double check that what I'm about to say is in fact an actual reply to that message.
This is an actual reply to the message.
Yeah. Okay. You do get a reply saying, "Good work. However, we're confused. Private Carvalho located at USCMC."
What? I take this. I'm gonna go back to Joshua.
Okay.
Hey, we might have a problem.
When don't we have a problem?
What do you mean you already know we have a problem?
No, when don't we have a problem?
Oh yeah. So our private friend might not be your private friend.
Okay.
Apparently he was found elsewhere.
How? If we got the private, how did the private show up elsewhere?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's
But do you know if does this ship have any sort of like a lab where we could, possibly inspect parts of the frozen private?
no, it's got a workshop, not a lab.
Should we
We'll
just
have to wait.
send it out into space?
Like send one out to space.
The private that might not be the private?
No, because we
Oh.
need to figure out what the hell is wrong with said private. That's why we take him back to Novgorod. No, see, that's why we're taking him back to Novgorod so that we can get him in the med lab, and then we can run
Okay.
all the testing we need.
Okay.
And now we'll just run a DNA sequence to figure out who he actually is against the Colonial Marines database. That way
Okay,
we'll
so
know
what
who
if
he
we
actually is.
small problem. Small problem. What if his DNA matches who he's supposed to be, but this other person's DNA also matches?
Then that's above my pay grade.
Okay. Okay.
I was told, talk to the guy. I gone above and beyond by taking the guy back because he was sick.
No,
I'm
I
trying to figure out what's
agree.
wrong with him.
I agree. You've gone above and beyond. My first idea is to shoot him out into space.
Why? Then we don't get answers.
Well, because if he's not the private, but he is an unknown life form that is dangerous, and he somehow gets thawed improperly, then he could bring a lot of we could be a plague ship.
Right. But that's why we use him in cryo on the transfer to the lab. We keep him under, we run the genetic sampling, and then if anything pops up as infectious or unknown, then we space him.
Okay, good idea. I'm with you on that. Okay, fine. I was her partner as a marshal.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Mm-hmm. You know how it is. Your dad has a smoking habit. He gets lung cancer. Can't pay for the treatment. You can't pay for the treatment. He dies. Mom dies, I guess, of what, sadness? Is that even a thing you can die of?
Yeah, it's called broken heart syndrome.
Yeah. So she's gone.
It's actually Takotsubo carcinoma, but people know it as broken heart syndrome.
Okay. I don't know what that means, so I'll just trust you.
Medical mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. I asked for time off. I don't get time off. Keep getting added to more shifts. They're not on station. I can't deal with their affairs from here.
So you go home to take care of family stuff, and Carrigan dropped you like a bad habit? Like what?
No. What happened is the company offered me a position, and that started off with the grievance leave I needed. Sorry, not grievance, that's not the right word.
Bereavement?
Yes, bereavement, thank you. Needed that. Didn't have to move, could just keep doing my job. Better salary. And get to go take care of everything for my parents. Like, why wouldn't I take that? But she got really mad. So I sent her a letter. Tell
Did
her
you
what
address
happened.
it? Do you address it in the name she knows you by? Because she says she don't know no Andrea.
Yeah. That was a misplan on my part. But my name had legally changed by then, so I didn't want to do anything against the law, Anyway, the company helped me when the marshals wouldn't. I tried to tell Carrigan about it, but apparently she didn't read the letters. I didn't send her any bribes. I just sent her things I knew she liked. Because I'm her friend. I thought it was.
So if you said, Carrigan, I'm so and so, Carrigan might be, oh my God,
She would
bestie,
be
how you
mad.
been? Where you been? No.
She would have been mad.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think you're wrong. I think if you walked up there and said, hey girl, it's so and so. You remember me? She was like, Griffin, how you been?
Okay, fine.
Or if you- okay.
Okay, fine. You can pretend to be Carrigan.
Okay, hang on. Let me get in touch. Got cross palms. Hang on.
What's your face?
She don't look like that. She look mad all the time. Just,
Okay, fine. She does look more mad lately than she used to.
anyway, I'll soften it up a little bit.
Hey. Sorry, I can't take this seriously, Joshua. I'm sorry.
We'll come back to it. You go do your thing. You go make your reports. I'm gonna check Jamie's temperature.
Okay, sounds good. I'm fine.
There you go. Yep.
It's at that moment, Andrea, when you turn to leave the crew chamber that Joshua is sitting in, and standing in the doorway is a silent, stone-faced Carrigan.
Oh. Hi.
You didn't tell me your dad was dying.
No, but you were busy. We were busy. There was no time.
You could have done almost anything else than
What
going
else could I
to
do?
Wayland. You could have talked to me.
Okay, but how would that help me get their bereavement leave?
You don't think I would have been able to get you bereavement leave?
Well, they kept saying no. And you were busy.
My problem is that you went to Weyland-Yutani.
Didn't ask them. They offered.
How can someone offer something if they don't know what's going on, Emma?
I don't go by that name. They probably knew because they probably, spy on everything. We're under constant surveillance almost all the time.
Yeah, that's a good reason of why I can't stand them. And again, we were supposed to be friends.
Yeah.
And you just disappeared, didn't say anything, and suddenly you're an employee for...
That's why I sent the letter. And I should have actually put my old name on it. I know, I thought that if I had already legally changed it, which I had, then it would be mail fraud if I put my old name, and I didn't want to break the law.
How many times do you think you've broken the law as being an agent with Weyland-Yutani?
I am very lawful.
I'm sure. Always 100%. Just by the way, Joshua?
Huh?
Emma?
Yes.
I don't care if that's not Agent or Private Carvalho. We are not jettisoning him. Novgorod is a fine enough station. We can figure out what to do with him.
You got it, Marshal.
Okay.
So you're able to go across the corridor into the other room, to one of the other bunks, and you do see that your data link does have a few messages. As you open them, they are all from your father, spread throughout a couple of days. The day after you had went to cryosleep, you have a message asking, "Where are you right now?" About 2 or 3 days after that, there's a message saying, "Carrie, stay away from the public. You have to let me know where you are." And then another couple of days after that, you have a third message that says, "Carrie, please, I need to know where you are." And that was the last message, and it was sent probably about 30 days ago. A few hours have passed from this. Everyone, you've just been doing kind of like little things and tidbits, just trying to kind of get on in time, keep yourself occupied, and stuff. So after a few years, Tavin, you start getting an emergency message on your system that there is a emergency in the cryo bay.
Okay.
The cryo bay or cryodeck door with a hiss and mechanical banging will unlock and slide open. As you peer in through the door, Carrigan, there is a bit of a haziness to the room. It's not quite like a mist or a smoke, but it does have a kind of, with the fact that it's red emergency lights and stuff like that, and it's not quite that visible, but you are able to peer in and make out the different cryopods and stuff like that.
Is this smoke like mechanical, electrical malfunction smoke, or is this like cold cryo air leaking into warm ship air?
Probably the latter.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't have a feel of electricity in the air. And it doesn't have a smell of, like, mechanical.
If I can, I'd like to shine my flashlight directly on the one that I know should be closed.
Okay. You
Can I see it through this?
give me an observation roll. Okay. You are able to lock onto that particular door. When you look at this cryopod, the lid does look closed.
Okay.
But I will say, with 2 successes, the lid does look as if it has a weird sheen to the top. It's like the light is reflecting off it, not
In a way
as it
that's
is on
different.
all the other ones.
Going to approach the cryopod that looks weird.
Oh.
Not touch it, just approaching it to get a better look.
As you approach, Joshua, I'm assuming these are all approaching kind of information. As you all approach, you are all very clear to see that the glass pods, the reflections are different because the pod has been smashed. There is glass around the outside of the pod, and
Inside.
you can surmise that this has been broken from the inside.
But yeah.
So, Tavin, you are too focused on what's happening, kind of keeping an eye out, and, like, as far as you're concerned, you have the button to lock this door if shit goes down, so you are focused on that. Andrea, you, however, while Joshua and Carrigan are kind of investigating this pod, you hear a faint scream, not from this cryodeck room, but as you try to convey where it came from, your direction comes to behind Tavin standing at the door. You get along the corridor back to the ladders, and as you put your foot in hand onto the ladder, that's where, for the strangest reasons, something catches your eye. And as you look down at the ladders, there is a clear liquid stuff on some of the runs going to the E deck, so down the way. What order are you guys traveling?
Damn fun.
Still the same?
I'll go first, and I want to try and use, since I'm wearing a fully, like, airtight suit, because I'm terrified of space, and I will use my glove to try and wipe the stuff off the rung as I go up.
Gross.
Can we
Like
try to
to
collect
the
some?
side. That's not what we're worried about right now. I'm trying to wipe it out of the way so that they can climb up without touching it.
Okay.
Are we climbing up or
We're
down?
going down.
Oh, we're going
go
down.
up.
Yeah, you're
Or
going
down.
to
We
the,
go down.
this is you going to like the bottom deck. Tavin, as you gingerly put your hand on this liquid and slide it out,
Gross.
you turn your hand over to look at, just to get a better look at this substance. As you look at it, you start to feel this strange tingling as your nerves just trickle that little bit harder as nothing happens. It's just a clear substance liquid.
I was fully expecting it. Oh, it's acid. It's eating through your soup. Fuck you. God damn it. I will send a message towards Novigrad, knowing it's not going to get there instantly, and I won't get a reply instantly, saying, Mayday, Mayday. This is the ship Marthanir, privately owned. Potential biohazard on ship. Need quarantine and marshals equipped for handling biohazards to meet us. Will maintain safe distance from station.
Okay.
And I'll also add approaching from vector or whatever, however that would be described from my approach to the station.
Yep. No problem. You send out your message, and around 30 seconds after that message goes out, you get a reply. Ship USCMC Warpath. Then there's some militarized kind of jargon that thingies through. And then at the end, it has, is Colonial Marshal Carrigan Mackenzie on board?
USCMC, Warpath. This is a ship Marthanir. Potential biohazard aboard. Need quarantine.
Okay.
And that's it.
The next message doesn't take as long, and it just reads, prepare to be boarded.
And I will, once everyone seems like they are mentally prepared for this, I'll just open the door.
Okay. As the door opens with a clunk and a hiss, the bridge is then very loudly occupied by several loud, intimidating, and shouting orders colonial marines. There is, as they kind of breach into the room, each of you are met with 2 soldiers each aiming rifles at you as you are all kind of secured. One of the soldiers gets onto their headset and announces that bridge is secured. And after about 30 seconds, very chiseled jaw, 5 o'clock shadow, short stub of a cigar sticking out the mouth, full colonial marine outfit, with not a helmet, but a high-ranking hat upon their head, walks into the room, scans through all 5 of you, with Jamie, who is petrified with having a weapon pointed directly at their face. Walks into the room, scans everyone, and locks eyes with you, Carrigan. And you recognize this person, but not who you think it is.
Okay.
This person that you recognize is someone that you remember from growing up. You remember from being in the Marines. Someone that was probably pretty good friends with your dad. Will kind of come in, look at you, take off their hat, and just... Carrigan. He then switches his gaze to Joshua, and he takes a longer look at you. And he kind of squints his eye, cocks his head. Sweet.
Bishop.
How have you found yourself on this ship?
Got contracted to do a low cargo run, and ship needed a medic.
And this is a Wayland Yutani run?
Well, they're
Yeah.
a Wayland Yutani run. I am a separate colonial marshal investigation.
He doesn't even acknowledge that. He's just locked on to Joshua. As you say that, he turns to one of the soldiers that's standing next to you, Tavin, and the soldier re-aims their weapon towards you, and Captain Bishop will say, "Where did you come from?"
Who are they pointing again
At Tavin,
Tavin.
and they're now looking at Tavin.
Tavin is gonna say, "Well, I was born on Earth, and kind of live in Novigrad, but not really. Kind of bounce around, you know."
There is zero
Carrigan's
reaction.
gonna smirk. I'm just gonna be like,
It's at that point the second soldier is now lifting their weapon back towards you. Joshua, you kind of take the center view, and you start looking around. Nothing's out of the ordinary until, as you step forward to kind of more to the back area, round about here. As you're looking about, you feel yourself underfoot. Your right foot slip away from you. Not enough to throw you up, but You do find that little jolt. As you look it down, there is almost like a thin film of this substance, clear liquid. And as you're kind of looking down, you do feel something drip onto your forearm.
Look up.
You look up, and Andrea and Carrigan, at this point, you've kind of made your way around kind of the outsides of this hangar, and you see Joshua kind of looking down at, or standing in this puddle, and then look at his forearm, and all three of you look up, and there above, dangling, is a figure. Tavin, you get an emergency signal on Martha as the bridge begins to flash red. As you look at your screen, you are filled with dread as you look up and face out of your window, seeing the USCMC ships still in position. The alarm signal indicates weapon lock on. And that's where we're going to end today's episode.